Hello there, I'm Richard D'O'Connor, known as Jen Shenlong, Spirit Wolf of Truth, or Buddha Jen to my Kung Fu and Tai Chi students. I'm a disciple of Wong Jack Man, who fought Bruce Lee, and I teach Shaolin Kung Fu, Praying Mantis Kung Fu, and Yang Tai Chi Chuan. In 1992, after teaching since 1984, I launched my Shaolin Chi Mantis traditional Buddhist Kung Fu school. In 1996, based on my success in teaching in prisons and rehab centers, I've launched the Tai Chi Youth nonprofit, a 501c3 organization. And in 2008, I created Buddha Kung Fu, which was a compromise between Tai Chi Youth with no weapons, Shaolin Chi Mantis with all these weapons and more, and decided to create something a little smaller so that maybe people could graduate. And that's Buddha Kung Fu. Doesn't have the praying mantis, and it's missing a few weapons. In the last decade, I've become known as the Kung Fu Cowboy. So I'm putting my hat on so you'll recognize me, and when you see me in other videos, you'll know it's me. So most of my videos, I seem to be wearing a cowboy hat now, which I've worn all my life. But anyway, I'm here to mention that I'm doing fundraising because, I had cancer last year. I'm 68 years old, and I don't have any disciples who can actually teach everything that I know. And the Tai Chi Youth program, even without its weapons, is a 2-year program, which I've stretched out to 4 to make it more fun and easy to do. And I need to do the whole program from the beginning to the end because I teach it better than anybody, and there's actually nobody who can teach the whole program. So I'm going to make all these videos, and that way it'll be preserved, because I think I've created the best martial arts curriculum in history, in the world, of any martial arts style. I honestly believe that, and I'd like for somebody to say that theirs is better, because I would like to see it and recommend it. So anyway, I need to make these 400 videos to teach everything that I know to make you a Tai Chi Chuan master. Now let me give you just a quick little sample of some of the stuff that I'll be teaching. Okay, now when we do Tai Chi Chuan, we're basically kind of breathing and using large, actually the first half hour we do stretching and jumping jacks. We do some push-ups and sit-ups, and then we do all kinds of rotations and exercises on our body and stretch out and everything. The first half is both aerobics and yoga. Then we take a water break, then we do the Tai Chi. Now when I teach the Tai Chi, I teach it basically in 3 different aspects. The first thing I do is I have to teach you the movements. So in other words, you'll do a movement and there you go. You're doing stances, you're doing the upper body, you're doing the arms. So you're developing a mind-body relationship. So that's good for everybody and anybody. That develops your coordination. Then the next thing I do is I teach you how to breathe and control your breathing, which improves your health. So it's going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Then you get that. So you've got the physical, you've got the breathing, you've got the relaxation, the peace of mind, the yoga, the aerobics. Now, the last level I teach is actually self-defense. So a lot of these moves, they look innocuous, but this could be a block. Somebody's going to punch at you, boom, you block it up. Okay, next thing is you grab them and you throw them over your knee. I don't know if you can see that in the video very well, but I got my knee out like this, and so I can throw them over the knee and they go tumbling on the ground. This move right here is if you can block something, grab them by the wrist, get them under the elbow and lock it, you have total control of their whole body, and they can't even kick you. They can try to kick you, they can't punch you with the other arm. You can actually control somebody. I've taught a lot of these things to prison guards, because the prison guards complained that they were getting lawsuits by hitting people and beating them, and they'd hold on to a pole and they couldn't get them back to their rooms. So I taught them all kinds of ways to not hurt people, but influence their behavior. And you can do that, and I teach all these tricks to all my students. Okay, and we don't do any sparring. So in other words, I don't want my students being in a sparring match and grabbing the other person's wrist and boom, accidentally breaking their elbow instead of just controlling them, but you could use that to break an elbow. It takes 35 pounds of pressure to bust your elbow. 35, that's not that hard to break somebody's elbow. So we have no sparring in our school, which is another beautiful thing about the Tai Chi Youth system. No sparring. The only thing we do is push hands. In push hands training, let me get back a little farther, you can see my legs. They start off like this with their left leg forward, and they basically hold each other's arms, or you can't grab, you can only touch, and there's usually a judge that directs you around, and then they say go, and then you try to push the other person. And if they push you and you lift a foot off the ground, boom, they stop and the other person gets a point. That's it. All you do is make the other person, lose their balance, and you get a point. Okay, nobody's ever been hurt or injured in these push hands tournaments or things that we used to do like 2 or 3 a year. So it's a fun way to learn physical fitness, control, and being able to actually use it for a little bit. It's a fighting discipline, but it's the most least harmful sparring in the world. And that's what we do. Now, a lot of the techniques that I teach, like I said, like the next move in the Tai Chi form is this move. Well, what is that move? Well, it's a 90-mile-an-hour punch. In other words, this is a baseball pitch. This is what a baseball pitcher does. He does this. Well, this was invented 1,000 years ago for Tai Chi. So you do the same thing. You start down here, and you have a block, get everything out of the way, and then boom, you got a 90-mile-an-hour punch into the person's face, which is another reason we don't do sparring. I have broken noses and all kinds of injuries all the time. So my students have proven that even without the sparring, they can still defend themselves. They've defended themselves against rapists, attackers, knife attacks in parking garages. One of my students had to go to jail for 30 days on parking tickets. The first thing happened when he got in there was somebody attacked him. He said, well, all I did was my Tai Chi move. I blocked him. I pulled him back. I used my other hand to control him. I lowered down and twisted my body and shoved his face down into the concrete. He said it was like a vacation for 30 days. He was treated like royalty in a prison. So anyway, I teach my students, like I said, the physical balance, the breathing balance, and then the self-defense. And that's what Tai Chi Youth is. So help me pass this on. I've got a great curriculum. It's a lot of fun, and I'm anxious to do all the classes, but I need some help. It takes a lot. I mean, I purchased all this stuff and the lighting, and I've got my iPhone as a camera, but it takes video editing, and it's got to be put up on storage. And there's so much work there. There's more than I can do. And I've got to make 400 videos. So I need some help. So please, I can't get people to do it for free. I got to hire people. So help me do this fundraiser so I can make these 400 videos and pass it on. And then when we migrate to other planets, they can take this program with it, and it'll be a great thing to do. I don't know, weightless in outer space or on another planet. Maybe there's a little gravity. But these are still great exercises for the body. It's like swimming. So we're always doing lots of big motions. And it's just really good for the body. Even though without the sparring, it's just great exercise. So anyway, help me with my fundraiser. Let's build this Tai Chi Youth online school, and all the classes have to be taken in order with a quiz at the end of it before they can get the next video to make sure that they learn everything right. Every month they have to submit a video that somebody will look at and say, oh, you're not doing this right. You need to turn more on your heels, hold your back up, your chin up, so we can give this criticism to make sure they learn it as good as it can be. So anyway, help me get this school on the internet. I can't be teaching just in a mile radius anymore. And the whole world needs me, and I'm locked up because of COVID anyway. So help me. Thank you very much. The Richard Del Conner here, Buddha Jun Shenlong, saying thank you and help me build the Tai Chi Youth online school. Oh yeah, and I'm the Kung Fu Cowboy too.